Two iconic Android devices, but only one can be a dogfight champion. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. I've got the HTC One S and the Samsung Galaxy Nexus in my hands. Stock ice cream sandwich over here, new ice cream sandwich with Sense 4, and a nice build quality at that. Over here, bigger battery in the Galaxy Nexus, but svelte, good-looking design on the HTC One X. Which one is the ultimate must-have device? We're going to find out as we always do in the dogfight, but first, special thanks to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get the One X or the Galaxy Nexus, you're going to walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your contacts, your camera settings, battery life optimization, and more at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look. One X, Galaxy Nexus. I want to start right into part two by showing you the web browser on both of these devices because obviously, like I said in part one, they're both ice cream sandwich devices, but you've got HTC Sense 4 over here on top. So we'll take a look at internet and then we'll load up the browser over here. Go into browser and take a look as well. Go to PhoneDog on both. And let's load up PhoneDog over here. So you can automatically see some of the minor differences in just in terms of user interface and overall usability. Let's go to PhoneDog.com. and load that up right here. So these are loading, and Sprint's 3G network, just to give you a heads up, has been having a ton of data issues, speed issues. It's been incredibly slow, and so just keep that in mind when you're taking a look at this review video. I've seen it in several markets. I've seen it in Dallas, I've seen it in Atlanta, I've seen it in San Francisco as well. San Diego is actually pretty decent, so it depends on where you're at, so keep that in mind. But the 3G has been incredibly slow, and obviously PhoneDog is still loading. So it's loaded over here on the HTC One X. We'll take a look at pinch to zoom, and you can see very responsive with little to no lag over here. And you can see transitions are nice and fast. And I love that transition effect that it makes here. Like I said, I've said in past videos, even though it's 1 or 2 seconds, it fools your eye into thinking that it's more natural. And then obviously you have your add to bookmarks saved, and then tabs down here at the bottom. I can click on tabs, see what's open, load up a new one, and then I can see my menu button there as well. And I can easily scroll back and forth between Google and then between PhoneDog. And I've got my menu settings up here, so no real changes from stock ice cream sandwich. You have your tabs button up here, and then you have your menu button as well, where you can see history, save pages, and more. So see the pinch to zoom. I thought the header loaded there for just a second, but you can see portrait to landscape transitions. You still get a nice little transition effect there where it's not as blocky in comparison to past versions of stock Android. That said, both of these are capable internet browsing machines. They give a slight edge in terms of the UI to the HTC One X in the browser department. I'm waiting for this one to load up. It's taking its sweet, sweet time. So you can obviously see how terrible Sprint's network is failing their 3G network as of late. So obviously we're going to skip through that because I don't want to spend too much time on the video having you watch a blank page because of network issues. So we're going to load up quadrant standard on both of these devices. 1.5 gigahertz quad-core Tegra 3 processor, 1.2 gigahertz dual-core TI OMAP processor over here. So we'll run the benchmark and we'll talk a little bit about call quality and things like that. Call quality on both of these, just taking that into consideration, very good across the board. Both of these do a great job. The Galaxy Nexus gets a ton of kudos for noise cancellation. Anytime I use the Galaxy Nexus, all of my callers are like, where are you calling from? It's really quiet. I've gotten several compliments on that from the Galaxy Nexus. The earpiece is nice and loud as well. And then over here, earpiece nice and loud. I do get a little bit of background noise from time to time, or so my callers tell me when I'm on the phone on the One X. Battery life is better on the One X than it is on the Galaxy Nexus. You've got a 1,850 milliamp hour battery here, an 1,800 milliamp hour battery, so smaller on the One X and non-removable at that, but they've done a really good job of maximizing standby times on the One X. It's a noticeable difference when you have a standby, you're in meetings all day and you're not using your phone. Noticeable difference in standby. This thing retains a charge, whereas this one I kind of powers through the charge a little bit faster. With moderate use, I'd say I got about 10 hours on the Galaxy Nexus, 9 to 10 hours. I was getting about 12 to 13 based on my moderate use over on the One X. So quad-core, Tegra 3, quadrant standard score, 4,827 over here. 4,827. Come on, focus. Focus, focus, focus. 4,827. There we go, over on the One X. And then this one's still loading up as well. It does support dual-core processors. So take this with a grain of salt. This is obviously not indicative of day-to-day performance, but what I will say is, given Android's kind of notorious lag, the One X does a great job in terms of processing through that. So 1,994 over here on the Nexus, the Galaxy Nexus. So 1,994, 4,827 over on the HTC One X. Let's load up some speed tests here. And like I said, Sprint's 3G network is absolutely miserable right now for whatever reason. Can't get an answer, unfortunately, as to why that is. But they're rolling out, the Network Vision project, but still kind of unacceptable to me to have a 3G network that's that bad. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to recommend at this time. So we'll load up megabits per second on both HSPA Plus. We're actually switching between HSPA Plus and 3G. I have an AT&T SIM card over here. So this is running on AT&T's combination of HSPA Plus and then just typical HSPA. So we're loading up right now with the same server, and we'll take a look and see which one comes out on top. Now, interestingly enough, important to note, the speed test app has been having some minor issues with this phone. For whatever reason, it doesn't register quite properly, but obviously you saw that the data was working correctly when I loaded up phonedog.com when we've done some database experiences. So obviously that download speed is not accurate. Over here, we're seeing 0.02 megabits per second on the download. Very terrible. These are kind of consistent speeds that I've seen with the Sprint Galaxy Nexus. You can take a look and see how poor these speeds are. Then obviously upload, it does register over here, but I'm having the same issue. I actually just reset this device, so I don't have any data in the bank there, so to speak. But you can obviously see this one works perfectly fine. The data speeds have been incredibly slow on the Sprint Galaxy Nexus. Now, if you're in a Verizon LTE market, obviously there's the Verizon LTE Galaxy Nexus as well. And so keep that in mind. So both of these are good devices. Let's take a look at the camera on both. 8 megapixel camera over here, 5 megapixel camera over here. Both shoot video at 1080p. But one thing I love about the One series is the burst mode capability. So we're going to bring over some sunglasses, for example. We'll just do this. This is what was nearby on the table. And this is something I absolutely love. Not only can you take burst mode pictures like this, and it takes pictures in rapid fire succession and then allows you to choose which one you think is the best. So let's say, for whatever reason, let's just say that one's the best. I can either choose the best shot and delete all the rest, or I can keep the whole album of pictures if I'm shooting a soccer match, for example, between my daughter and her competing team, whatever it is. I can take advantage of that. And then, of course, I have this over here. I've got my video quality, image resolution, all those settings that I can change, of course, turn the flash on and off. What I really like, though, is I can go into video mode here, and I can record video like this. And while I'm recording, I can still take pictures. So let's say she's running through in a cross-country meet, for example, just using my hypothetical daughter as an example. And I can still take those pictures while it's recording, which is really, really a cool feature, and I'm really impressed by that on the One X. Now, over here, 5 megapixel camera, and we'll take a look at it as well. 1080p HD video recording over here also. We're going to load up a camcorder. And let's see here. Take a photo during video by recording or by touching the preview screen. So you can see here, I can do the same thing and take some pictures on the Galaxy Nexus. So you have the same feature over here, but it's just, I feel like it's not implemented as well within the user interface as it is on the HTC One X. So I can come in here and take a look at that picture. I can take a look at the video or see the still pictures in my gallery. So obviously I have some pictures right there along with my video. So these are my still images that I took during that. So obviously stock ice cream sandwich interface to the camera here. You got your settings down here in the bottom. I can flip it around into front-facing camera mode, and you can see me with the camera, and I can zoom in, zoom out, and I can flip right back and easily get back to it. So settings are a little bit different. Obviously 5 megapixels, 8 megapixels over here. The camera award goes to the HTC One X because it is not only a great camera, it does capture color very well, but it has some nice features, and they're integrated well into the device, so that's something to keep in mind. So obviously a tough dogfight here. These are both good devices. If you want that stock ice cream sandwich experience, Galaxy Nexus is going to be your device. The battery life is not the best in the world, and it does have some issues on Sprint's 3G network while you're waiting for 4G. So those are some things to keep in mind, but if you're going with the Verizon version, or perhaps with the unlocked version, something like that, and you want that stock ice cream sandwich, I think it'll be a device that you really enjoy. This over here, love the camera. Battery life is surprisingly decent. The screen is nice. 4.7-inch display is going to be a little bit too large for some, myself included in most cases, but it's a nice device. It feels nice in the hand. It fits well, and it's got a nice curved look to it, so it's easy to hold up while you're on the phone. Great camera. Battery life's pretty decent. Processor in the international version is great. Hopefully the one in the US version will be equally good, and if the One S is any comparison, it certainly will be. The winner of the dogfight is the HTC One X between these two devices, and I'd love to hear from you. If you have one of these devices, you think it's the best, or perhaps you think the competitor is the best, let me know on Twitter at phonedog_Aaron and on Facebook at facebook.com/phonedogab. We're going to have a ton more dogfights coming, so keep it locked on the site. Follow us on Google+, gplus.to/phonedog on Facebook, facebook.com/phonedog, and last but not least, let me know what you think of these devices also by submitting your vote in PhoneDog's official smartphone rankings at phonedog.com/rankings. Cast your vote, submit a review, and then compare it with what other people have to say about the device. It's all available at phonedog.com/rankings. Thanks so much for watching. As always, we'll see you next time.